Hi friends, it's Nanny from Nanny and the Moose, and today is a preview of a video that I'm going to be doing that I promised to do months ago, and it was about my secret ingredient for cleaning brass and copper and silver and any metal similar to that with the least amount of resistance. Here is my very first antique that I have done one half of the top for you to show you how my secret ingredient works. The bed has a wonderful story. It was the very first antique of mine that was given to me by a friend when I was 23 years old. So this is my preview. Hopefully in another couple of weeks, I'll be doing the whole thing to show you what I use and how I do it. Here I'm showing you some copper and brass, some that has been shined up, some that has been sitting outside and has weathered for years. You know, we've all tried the Brasso and all the silver polishes and various things, and especially on metals that have been out in the elements, like many of mine have been. It's really hard work. So I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm going to show you a few of the before and afters just to wet your whistle a bit. And because I don't have time right now to do it. Here's a champagne bucket that I've done one half. Obviously this half. And the front. And I haven't worked hard on this at all. I only have done pieces to show you. As opposed to this side. It's amazing. Not much elbow grease at all. Here's a copper pitcher that has been shined up about 2 months, and it was black, sitting outside once again. I've done half of this very, very old cake plate. I haven't done the bottom yet, but this is half. And of course the edges are not meant to come up nicely, but this is the half that I've done. Now this is the amazing one. These are candlesticks I've had since we lived in Scotland 40 something years ago. This one I shined up last week. Okay, and you can see now these have been outside covered in grit. These are the antique push-up candlesticks, and these are the ones that I have not worked on, just to show you the difference. And I have several inside on the fireplace that I have not worked on. I have showed you the copper pot. Now these are plates that, once again, I've also had for probably 50 years. This plate looked like this one. These also have been outside in a box, but definitely exposed to the elements. And this will come up as beautiful as this. Now, as you can tell, the dark recessed parts kind of keep the darkness in them. Now, you do have to wash everything afterward to get, and then shine them with a cloth or some kind of polish. But to get rid of all this grit, this is the amazing part. Now, getting back to this gorgeous antique bed. I've done one half of the top, as you can see. This has been sitting out the whole time we've lived in this little retirement cottage on Colleen and Micah's property. I've painted one half of the front just to show you. This is solid brass. This was made in probably mid to late 1800s. It's a 3/4 bed, and it was given to me. This is only the footboard, believe it or not. And it's quite high. It comes up, oh, let's see, up to my boobies. It's that high. And the headboard sitting behind me is probably taller than I am, about 6 feet. Now this is iron, and it's dusty, as you can see. I did paint this just to show the contrast, how beautiful it is. It has knobs. It's gorgeous. I have shined this up 3 or 4 times. It takes a lot of work to work on a whole piece like this, but not much elbow grease to do this as opposed to this side. Can you believe it? Now, you would think you'd have to send this off to be done professionally, and they would charge hundreds of dollars for this. This side, this side. Amazing. Isn't this a great bed? Now, we did have to have a 3/4 mattress made, and I think years ago when Colleen was a little girl, we had this mattress made a 3/4. I think it's Sears, and it did have a box spring initially with it. We put a piece of plywood in, took the box spring away because it was too springy. And Colleen slept in this, as did Dubby and Margie when they were 3, 4, and 5. Colleen then slept in it right into her high school years. And this has been what we call the Bishop of Bayonne's bed. It was given to me by a friend when I was 23 years old. It was her grandmother's. She's as old as I am. And she didn't want it. She didn't like antiques. And this was my first real antique piece that was given to me. And I have adored it. It's waiting for some granddaughters right now. We will have to have a new 3/4 mattress made. But it is beautiful. Isn't it? We have a couple of videos coming up. We have a St. Patrick's Day one that we're going to be doing. I'll probably put that up Sunday. And also, Moose and I have been jaunting out a little bit. We're fully vaccinated. We've gone through the waiting period, and we're very carefully venturing out safely. We've gone down to see some grandchildren over the weekend, and I'm going to do a little video about that and some other things that have to do with the garden. But this particular one is just something to wet your whistle. You're going to love it. Now, I'm going to just show you once again. I have the footboard of this brass bed here. I'm going to try and pull it out. It's heavy. Really heavy. And I'm going to try and, well, I showed to you in the video. One side I've done, and the other side has been just as it is. It's been out here, sort of behind the cottage, covered up most of the time, but a lot of the times the wind has blown the cover off. Woo! And at this point, it still will clean up for me. I've painted a little bit of the iron, but the brass is what I wanted to show you. It's a beautiful bed. I'm going to do a close-up of what this looks like. Now, painting the iron is not a problem. That paints up beautifully. And I would probably use a semi-gloss or maybe even a gloss. It's easier to wash down if it gets dusty. But as you can see, there are nicks and things here and there on. But being as old as it is, it's gorgeous. I love this bed. Here's the top of the headboard. That's what it looks like. I will eventually get to that. Gorgeous, huh? And that brass, which is black, will definitely come up. All right, here are 5 candlesticks. The first one on the end with the high shine is probably has had some coating on it. And you can see it's quite a bit shinier than the others. The second one has the original brass patina, which looked the same as these. These have been sitting outside for a year or two, believe it or not, on a windowsill. And that's what they look like. Can you see the grit and the tarnish on them? Okay, those two have not been touched. This one I just wiped off with a sponge and a little bit of soap. And I've gotten the grit off, and then I will shine it up with my secret ingredient. This one has already been shined and has had the treatment. Now, you can't tell the difference in this video too much between the one on the left and the one on the right, but there is a high shine, and it's brought the patina of the nice original brass back. So I will show you and work on these two, which have not been cleaned. You can see the cobwebs or the grit. And this one, which has not been shined up yet with my secret ingredients, just washed. Stay tuned. Love you all.